I see you guys are starting to come in. We are, okay, I see you guys coming in now. Spirit has been with me all day. So I thought that I would come on. We're in a snowstorm, so my clients got rescheduled. And I am not in my office, which means at any given moment, my children can come busting in. So we're all warned. We're all warned. But yeah, I thought I'd pop on, see if there's any healing that Spirit wants to bring forward. If you're new here, hi, I'm Angela. I am from Atlantic, Canada. Make sure that you follow if you're looking for a reading. Cindy says, does Spirit have a message for me? Cindy, it does feel like, just as quickly as I tap into your energy, it does feel like I'm a little bit hot and cold about something. Okay, there's very much this feeling of like, I guess kind of this air of indecisivity, which isn't really uncommon for the energy that we're in right now. I feel like January was very much that focus for all of us to kind of sort out what actually is important. I feel like as we came into the new year, it wasn't the more typical new year, new me, set my little goals for the year, that type of thing. But there's still this type of feeling. So I don't know, Cindy, if you are back and forth on a decision, or you're not quite sure on how you're going to move forward, or you don't really know what is coming in for you next, or where to kind of head. They are saying, like, listen, right now the time is for you to go within. Come in mid-February, there is going to be kind of like that enlightenment. So whether that means that we get an answer, if we're waiting on an answer, or that it's coming in as a divine download, there's very much this feeling of like everything is going to start making sense over the next, what, 2.5 weeks? Is that like, mid-February is not far at all. And so just kind of hang in there. There's also this message as well, Cindy, is for you to go within. The answers are within you. I do feel like you're looking outward. What are they doing? Or maybe I should do this, or, right? They're kind of wanting you to connect within. And sometimes that just means we need to take care of ourselves in this moment, right? And that understanding that everything in our life is interconnected. Meaning like if I am going to focus on working on my self-love, not only is it going to affect my personal life, it's going to affect my professional life. It's going to affect my social life. Everything is interconnected. So even if you're saying you're wanting a new job, hypothetically, you working on what you need right now in this moment and doing that every day is going to bring that ideal job to you. It's going to make you ready to be able to hold on to that goal, that dream type of thing. So I'm going to leave that with you, Cindy. I hope that resonates. My water's so far away. There we go. Okay, so make sure that you hit the follow button, especially if you're looking for a reading. If your first name is not in your tag, just make sure that you include that. I feel like I have a male stepping forward. Thanks for the follow, guys. What this means, God, he labors my breath. So I do have a father figure stepping forward. A father figure for me could be a father, stepfather, grandfather, father-in-law, and uncle who played that role. But they give me evidence so that I know who we're talking to. Okay, so I do have a male. He's coming across as a fatherly figure. He puts like I feel like I can't even take a deep breath. And he also snaps his fingers. So that's my sign and symbol for sudden or unexpected departure. So when they sit on my chest like that, this can be lungs, this can be heart, in that this would have been a quick departure. Even if, because I do get this feeling of like, maybe even in hindsight, it's like there was a buildup. We just did not expect him to pass when he did. We didn't feel like that was what was coming in for him. So who lost the father figure that is connected to the chest that we weren't expecting him to pass? Okay. Mandy, is this your father? Okay. Do you also have a living brother? Okay. I just asked him to validate that I was with Mandy, but listen, piggybacking is absolutely going to happen. We have 5-5 here watching, changes in the year, guys. So it's interesting. There's a few things that I want to go to. I find him a little quirky because he was kind of like, am I going to talk to you? Am I not going to talk to you? And then now that he's here, he's like throwing just random shit at me. Random sentences. Okay. So I do want to acknowledge the tattoo. Okay. And so the tattoo he wants to come in to validate. So whether we have it already or we're getting it or we think about it, it's always the thought that counts. He also then acknowledges just this type of ripple out without in the family. There's very much this feeling of disconnection, I think is the feeling that's coming in. And Mandy, it really does feel like in your experience, there's almost this isolation or this isolated feeling, meaning as though, you know, it's not only did you lose dad, but you lost life as you knew it. You lost your family as you knew it. And it almost seems, and I don't want to be insensitive, Mandy, but it almost seems like, what the fuck? Right? And so it really kind of makes you grow up very fast. It makes you see certain people in a certain light. Well, you have to be distant because that's how you protect yourself. Because there does seem to be a lot of dysfunction, a lot of emotional dysfunction is the feeling that comes in. And so it's not so much that people are malicious, right? It's just if you don't have the tools, you don't have the tools. And you come across, Mandy, as someone who is very sensitive, right? Like intuitively, like sensitive in the most beautiful, amazing ways. And so it's even more disruptive. It's almost like being around certain people because they do come across as a very energetic personality or aggressive personality energetically. It's almost like your inside shake because you're such an empath. You're so in tune. And so it's really important for you to know that your dad supports you in holding those boundaries and taking this type of space for yourself, because you do indeed need that for your healing and your growth. Okay. There is so romantically, are you with someone or no, or in between, or situationship? Where are you at with this? Romantically. Okay, you're married. Perfect. So there is this feeling, excuse me, of changes coming in within the relationship, and there's almost this feeling of smoothing out. So if you guys were in a little bit of a rut, or we've kind of been feeling like we're at edge, or we're in an irritability type of season, there does seem to be a shift coming in within the relationship as well, which I feel is very validating for you. And then also, do you have the son yet? Is there children for you yet? Your dad has the best laugh. Yes, I have children, and me and my husband have a son. Perfect. There's something, so when your dad addresses your son and then laughs, like he just cackles, because I feel like your son is so much like dad, right? And so it's really important for you to know, not only does he know of you and of the children and watches over all of them, but there is something that he really brings through the connection. Now, when he draws a line from him to your son, that means three different things to me in addition to that message. One, he could be a namesake, middle name or form of a name. They look alike, or they have the same type of personality. So because I'm clairvoyant, when they draw the line, it can be one of those three things, okay? But there's a lot of, because I feel like your dad had like ants in his pants. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like he was always up to something, is the feeling that comes in. And so this is coming in, and he's kind of seeing like you will again, and especially as your child grows, you're going to see more and more of dad in him. He was a mess. But so damn likable. You know what I mean? It's like he's so likable. He gets away with it. He does say though, it's like, and he's such a jokester, right? And he's such a jokester. But he did say, you know what? He wants you to know that he knows that he dropped the ball at times as your dad. So not only do they have to say things to help you heal, they say things for their own healing. Because when you cross over, not only do you do a life review of perfect, so that would be him validating knowing that as well, Mandy. Not only do they do a life review of their life, they do a life review of their life through our eyes. Okay. And so he really gets it. Now, what's so interesting is because he is so likable, because he kind of, and I wouldn't be surprised if he had a little bit of a vice. Maybe he was a drinker. Maybe he liked to dabble in substances, whatever this is. But because he's so likable, he really gets away with it, you know, on the public scale. But he understands because of the review, like he truly understands how that is not what you needed. And he would tell himself stories of like, because you have always been an old soul, you have always been super independent because you had no choice, right? But he didn't have the emotional intelligence to understand that no matter what, we always need our dad. You know what I mean? And so this is just his way of taking this opportunity to apologize. Now, he does want to validate. So Spirit will always bring through validations, right? And so he does validate with you coming in, like I feel like you just received a little bit of a money, right? So whether this was like back pay, or we had a little win, or we got a little annual bonus, or we got a pay raise, or whatever this, however this comes in, he's just using it as a validation, right? So I always say, because there's no time on the other side, if then this didn't just happen, then this is about to happen, and him using it as a validation. He also is like, I mean, he's so funny because he was like, you're welcome. That's for me. I just started a new job. Perfect. Right? And so it is just really important for you to know that he is part of your everyday life. Right? And I think that, you know, that little girl in you, because he said you've been really reminiscing of when you were younger. You've been really reminiscing of like these past memories, because he is helping you heal, and he's bringing this up in you. Okay. And so it is important for you to know how he is only loving you and supporting you and helping you move forward, that this job is absolutely like, a pivot point. And so making sense to what we said earlier about like, you know, relationships are going to smooth out. This job is going to be very good for you, not only for the bank account, but also for, hang on guys. I had to block him. He not only for the bank account, but for like purpose, and for feeling good about yourself and feeling purposeful. And you know what I mean? I just feel like that is something that is going to be important for you. How else? I don't know where you live, but where are you guys? Do you travel? Do you, okay, one, do you live somewhere is warm, right? Like currently, or are you planning like a beach vacation? not currently warm, but we're going to Florida soon. Perfect. To validate that dad's going with you, to validate you're going to have signs and symbols while you're there, to validate that he knows of your life, he knows what you're doing, he's participating in it, and he couldn't be happier for you. Okay? Your mom living, Mandy? Were your parents divorced or not together? Because he just said, can you please tell your mom that I am so sorry? And I said, ooh, I go, that is loaded. And he was like, I should have said it over and over and over and over again when I was alive. Okay, so him taking ownership for the dissolving of the relationships and for the parts that he played, and it is really important for her to know that he is truly sorry for that. Because he makes me feel like your parents were together young, or like young at heart, in the sense that she just loved him. You know what I mean? Like she just loved him. And if he could have just let himself be loved, then the relationship would have worked. But he, because of his own inner lack of worthiness, right? And his own inner discomfort with happiness and inability to let himself be loved, it really affected in his private life, in his personal life, specifically with your mom, because I do feel like that was true love. Okay, this is why, like you say, shooting the shit with the boys and like being around town and stuff like that. He had a great reputation in that sense because he was a great time, right? But for those who really just needed authentic version of dad, this is where he's like, yeah, I really dropped the ball with that. Okay. But he does love you so much. I don't know what that is. So did you put something in with him when he was laid to rest, or when, because when they slip a dime in my pocket, that's just my sign and symbol that something was placed with him. And then he also made me feel like at the time of the services, or like around the gathering, that there was a little bit of drama. I don't know if people didn't get along, or there was a little bit of tension there. And he's just merely saying it as a validation, in the sense that he knows of the choices that we've made. There was drama. He knows of the choices that we made. So it may not have been you that put something in with someone. This could be someone validated for somebody else, but that is my sign and symbol for that. Validating that he supports all the decisions that were made. There was drama, no service, unfortunately. So validating that we've made the right decisions. Validating that he doesn't want you to have any woulda, shoulda, couldas, or feeling as though that he's upset with the choices that we made. Right? Validating that he knew of the drama to support the decisions that were made. Okay? All right, Mandy, I'm going to leave that with you. Oh, hi, Cher. Thank you. Make sure that you follow. Oh, I don't know who this is. Thank you guys. Thanks for following. Oh, I don't know. I have a young male that's stepping forward. Okay. So I do have a young, oh my God, he's making me so nervous. Whew. Okay, so usually when they make me this nervous, it's one of two things, suicide or homicide, okay? But I do have a young male that's coming forward. Young for me, this is an adult male. Young for me is someone that we felt was passed before our time. He's making me very freaking, although the only other time they make me this nervous is if they have a lot of apologizing to do. We get a little worked up. Okay. There is, he says that his passing made the newspaper, or like equivalent to. And so there would be this feeling around like, you know, the details of his passing has been published, or, you know, it made the newspaper. It's been documented in that way. There's like this makes me so nervous, and I puts like a lot of pressure on my chest. Okay, so who can understand the tragic passing to the male, that it would have been newsworthy, it would have been something that would have been you know, made the newspaper type of thing. It was definitely a tragic passing. Something to do with the chest though, because I do feel like it almost feels like, and Mandy, it very well could mean that I didn't move on from you. I just moved on in spirit. But it's interesting because I keep trying to ask him, I go, what is this feeling? Because it almost feels like blunt force. And his personality would be the type of personality that would like, well, I don't want to talk about that. I want to get away from, you know, how I pass type of thing. And so maybe a little bit avoidant. Okay. There's also then questions around, when, like, I want to say pointing of fingers. I want to say pointing of fingers. Okay. No, I'm still on live, Dan. Okay. It's okay. I don't know why. Sorry, guys. TikTok filters out certain comments. So I see a lot of car accidents. The only thing that's making me feel weird about saying that this tragic is a car accident is unless there is someone to blame. Wendy, how do you understand this? Kimberly, he was on the motorcycle? Is the truck driver saying that he caused the accident or was like messing around or... Oh, okay, Wendy. Okay, we're going to piggyback, but Wendy, that's exactly what I was feeling. Okay, and then Kimberly, I'm going to come back to you. Okay. Usually when I feel nervous like this, it does seem to be more of a graphic passing. I mean, they both are though, because motorcycle versus truck, not great. Okay. I'm going to start with Wendy, and then Kimberly, you stay on, because then I'm going to go to you. Okay. So who is this to you, Wendy? Like a brother-like connection? Boyfriend's cousin. Okay. So So he just said that, okay. So he just said that he is not completely innocent of all of this. He goes, I was partaking in activities that I should not partake in. Okay. And so not in the sense that he is justifying what happened, but he's just giving me information in and around it. Okay. It is interesting as well because there is such misinformation around the time of the departure, in the sense that when did it actually happen? How long was he laying there? What, is there going to be justice? Because that's the feeling that I had, because I had young male. It wasn't his fault. There is somebody to blame. It made the newspaper, is what I wrote in my little book here. But then he almost like was backtracking it, in the sense of like, but there's parts that I've played as well, because the family holds such anger. I even feel like, because there does seem to be this feeling like that some time has passed, but I do feel like your boyfriend still holds such contempt, and this is why he's saying like, you get to be mad at me too, right? And I don't feel like we're happy with the justice. I don't feel like there has been justice that we feel is reasonable. Okay. One, karma is all the justice that we need, because he said, don't you worry. Okay, I was like, okay. But it is really important for your boyfriend to let him set himself free, because this is not something that because your boyfriend has such a beautiful soul, Wendy, and there's very much this feeling of he now does not allow himself to have full happiness, because even though intellectually he understands that he could not have prevented this, but he almost feels like that survivor's guilt of like, well, I shouldn't be here living my life and have happiness and have joy and have love. And so there's a ceiling to his level of happiness that he allows for himself. Okay. And so his cousin really wants him to release that, because your boyfriend could have went down a very similar path. And by pulling things straight for himself, that is something to be very proud of. Wendy, do you understand that? He wants him to be very proud and hold himself in high esteem. And so it is important for him to go, this was my path, right? We can look at how, hindsight's 2020, and we look back and we think of like, oh, well, if I would have just, done this, or if I would have just gave him a tongue lash in here, and then he wouldn't have went this way, or if I told him to smarten up or whatever. We don't have that power. We are not God, right? This was his path. It's not what we have chosen for him. We would have chose for him to stay here, but this is very much his path, and he fulfilled his life contract that he came here to fulfill. And so he wants your boyfriend to allow him to live his life as loud and as happy and as joy-filled as possible. Okay. There's also, and I don't know if this is directly, linked to this situation. It could be family dynamics for your boyfriend. But there's very much this feeling of like, you are not your past. You are not going to repeat cycles. When we have children, when he becomes a father, or if he is a father, there is not that repetitive of cycles. There does seem to be that black sheep vibe where he is breaking a lot of the family cycles and the family dysfunction, which can make him feel very isolated and very alone. Okay, Wendy? And so it is important for him and for you to know that you have the support of the other side that are helping all of you here in the physical form. But most importantly, for this cousin to validate that he is in heaven, that he is safe, that he did not suffer. He says it was very quick, and it is very important. Good. Thank you, Wendy. It's very important that that how we die does not affect our level of peace on the other side, that his cousin is safe and sound, knows of the ways, knows that he's mad. Let yourself be mad is what he says. Let yourself be mad at me for the stupidity that I've chosen to do. He's owning his actions. He does validate the tattoo as well. Okay. And then there's something to do with a necklace or like a chain. There's something to do with the necklace or the chain or something to wear around the neck is what he's saying as well, bringing through validations. Okay. You're so welcome. You're so welcome, Wendy. I'm going to leave that with you. Kimberly, are you still here? Okay, I must have missed it. Thank you. So you had, who is the male for you that had the motorcycle with the truck? Ex-boyfriend. Okay. I don't know why some of these comments are being hidden. Okay, ex-boyfriend. Okay. Yay, East Coast. So, a few things that are coming in. You guys were not together at the time of the passing, correct? You guys have already broken up? Okay. He does, first and foremost, he does take responsibility for that. He does take, I don't know if he stepped out on you or he broke your trust but he does take ownership of the dissolving of the relationship. Okay. There's almost like, what's interesting to me is that he keeps bringing me to like how graphic the departure was. And when they have me replaying these images, it means that you or somebody replays these images, right? And a lot of the times we feel or we'll put ourselves into what it must have been like for him. Now, he does feel a little bit foggy in the head when he's bringing me through his departure. And almost always that means that we are addressing something in his system, whether it's drugs or alcohol. The odd time it could be mental health. But he does make me feel a little bit like I'm not clear-headed at this time. Okay. And when so again, back to addressing the physical damage on his body, he wants to reiterate like that he did not feel that. He's making me feel foggy, and then he goes to the other side, and before he even understands what's happening, his soul's already safe, is what he's saying. Okay. Because it's almost like he's like okay, so how he's showing it to me is the first impact launches him out of his body, but then he's like watching his body have the experience of the accident. Okay. Because there does make me feel like there's a little bit of time before his body truly lets him go, and him saying, but I didn't feel that. I'm already safe on the other side watching what is happening. Okay. Why he wants me to bring this through is because we often, not knowing, or our imagination can get us like, right? It can get wild. And so we go, what must have that been like? He goes, you don't have to replay that. We don't have to replay that because I didn't feel that. I didn't suffer in that way. I didn't experience that. Okay. And so really important for you to know to release that and let that go. It's so interesting as well, Kimberly, because he says that you were just reminiscing or you were just thinking or talking about him. So within the last 6 months is how he shows that. Okay. So know that him popping up in your mind, maybe your Facebook memories, maybe somebody brings them up over the holidays, whatever, however you understand that, it's just his way of bringing through a validation, not only to validate them interpreting the messages correctly, but that he knows of the ways that you have always just wanted what was good for him. You know what I mean? Like, because his soul is so good and that there was just some dysfunction on top of it is how he makes me feel, that you really seen the goodness that he was. And unfortunately, life happens, right? And we have unhealed parts of ourselves and an ego and etc. That he just wants to validate. Thank you for always seeing the good. even when I hurt you. Okay? Got in with the wrong crowd. There you go. Kimberly, I don't know if your mom is passed or if I'm moving on, but I do have a mother figure coming in. She immediately brings me to the chest, so breast, chest, lungs. Thank you, Kimberly. Make sure you follow me, guys. I am so happy to be here. I am 2026. I'm prioritizing my followers on TikTok. So I have been posting. I've been coming on live. I know I see a lot of you who follow me over on Facebook, my safe spot. I am from Cape Breton. I see some of you are from Halifax. I am over the next week or two. I'm hopefully planning out my year's work of Messages from Spirit in persons. I was just in where was I? Windsor in December. I will be doing Moncton this year. I am going to be doing Fort Mac this year. I'll be coming up to Halifax and area again. Of course, Sydney, potentially Glace Bay as well, guys. In Ottawa without my family, but that's for fun. It's not for work. My son's here. He's bitter that he's not coming on the airplane. Yes, well, I am going to Ottawa the end of May, and then I am contemplating on doing a show while I'm up there. It's not for sure yet. It's like I just need someone to tell me where to do it at. Because I'll tell you, this is where I get lazy, is because I'm like, I'm not familiar with the area. I don't know to where even to start, and then I'll be like, meh. Awesome. Okay, I still have this mother figure here. I forgot to look at your comments. Okay, Michaela says that could be my mom. Okay, so it's interesting because I do feel like there's a few things going on with her health, okay? And I wouldn't be surprised if she played down her illness, okay? Because when she does show me the under the rug, that is my sign and symbol. Oh, Kimberly did say it's her mom. Okay. I know, dude! My son told me to pay attention. Okay. Right? I know. Okay. Let's focus. Let's focus. Motherly figure coming in with the chest, lungs, breast. Showing me that there's multiple things that are going on with her health. There may be non-related things happening with her health, is the feeling. Like there's a few things that were going on. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some restriction with the breath, whether she had COPD or had pneumonia, because I find myself huffing and puffing, like trying to catch my breath doing these readings. Okay. And then there is the playing down, the not letting on, connected to the departure. So who can understand this? I also want to validate, she does show me multiple pieces of jewelry. When she has me touch my neck, wrist, and hand, that just means that we have multiple pieces of her jewelry.
You can invite people into live and then talk to them that way.
It's true. Thank you, honey.
Just do that.
Okay, thank you. Everybody thinks you're cute. And then would the father be living? Because she has me addressing that, then taking care of the male. Okay. Thank you, guys. Okay. Kimberly Latour. Okay. And then also, do you have like her dishes, like baking dishes, or like, what is that? Like a loaf pan? Nancy, okay, we could be piggybacking as well. Kimberly's, yes, I do, and I love. So this is something that we use it all the time. Perfect, Kimberly. Piggybacking means that the similar souls on the other side, different souls with the same message or similar messages will work together to come forward. Okay, and so this is why it's so important for you to listen to your own intuition. They're going to use your own intuition in all videos, right? In videos and in live gallery reads, your own intuition, your loved ones are making sure that you get what you need from it, okay? And I also just want to say, like, be discerning of who you get your information from. There's so many mediums and stuff here on TikTok, not all of the same caliber. Okay, and so we do want to make sure that you feel like your intuition is saying, like, yes, this person is someone that is trustworthy, or someone that you can I guess trust, I guess is the word. But there's very much like, we want to be discerning. You want to be discerning. You want to be discerning, because there's a lot of people who do not have our highs good at yeah. Okay, that's why I'm here. Perfect. Kimberly, there is very much this feeling as well, because she does want to say thank you for everything that you have done for her before and after her passing. Okay, because there's almost this feeling of like looking back and having woulda, shoulda, couldas. Okay, wishing as though you could have, or you should have, or did I do enough? She says absolutely. Now, I don't know where the separation comes in, like whether that means like you didn't live where she lived, or you were out running errands, or you weren't physically there at the time of her passing, but there's almost this feeling of like darling, there no woulda, shoulda, couldas. Okay, do you understand that, Kimberly? There's very much this feeling of wanting you to, I moved to Halifax. So don't feel as though if you didn't move to Halifax, something different would have happened, or that, you know, she was upset that you did. You living your life, like, she is so proud of you. And I have this feeling, Kimberly, that life is a little messy right now, because we may feel like a little bit of like a hot mess at this moment. But she says, like, I am so proud of you. I am so proud of the person that you've become. I'm so proud that you are so resilient. Right? And so being independent, living your life, figuring it out through your mistakes, figuring it out the hard way, like, just fires her up for you. Okay? So she doesn't want you to have any woulda, shoulda, coulda. She only has happiness and love and support for you, and is so thankful and grateful for the love and the prayers and the check-ins on Dad and everything that you have done. So not feeling as though you could have or you should have done more. Okay, she is also, that's why she had me address right at the very beginning that she downplayed, right? So she downplayed. They do this, listen, it's always out of a good place, right? It's always out of a good place in the sense that they think that they're protecting us. Right? They think that they're protecting us. They think that they are doing, you know, what is best for us, not worrying us, not wanting to upset us. But what tends to happen is that it does cheat us from our grieving experience, and it does affect how we grieve, because it's like there's just more like coming around to it. Right? Where if we were in the know, maybe we would have been a little bit more prepared, or we would have started our grieving. And so she takes ownership of that. Now, she says that you still go to call her, right? And so when they show me the phone, it is my sign and symbol for two things. One, you go to call her. You still have that habit of wanting to pick up the phone and call Mom. Know that she hears you when you talk to her. Just tell her what it is that you want to say, want to share that day, especially like when you're driving. I don't know if you always called Mom when you were driving, but she says, especially in the car, tell her I hear her. Especially in the car, tell her I hear her. Okay. Two, there's something on your phone that is connected to mom, whether it's a voicemail, whether it's a picture. So her showing me the phone in the two ways, okay? To validate that she's with you, to validate that she's okay and that she knows of how hard it is, right? How hard it is for you. Is dad not well, or who are we worried for? Okay? My husband. So know that she's helping and that she's watching over. Okay? And it does feel like with your husband unwell is bringing up a lot of emotions, a lot of mom stuff as well. Okay? So it is really important for you to know. There's also this frustration where it really kind of feels like, oh my God, everything is on your shoulders. Like everything is on your shoulders. This feels so heavy. And mom validating this, because it almost feels like you're a little bit invincible at the moment. Or we're feeling like, where's everybody else? Or they should be, you know, helping or checking in or whatever it is. I am his full-time caregiver. Girl, like that is so heavy. That is, obviously, I understand, like, you want to do it. You love him, but oh my God, that's a lot. Okay? And mom really wants to make sure that you know that she sees you and that she's helping you and that she's not, that you're not invincible. Like that's the feeling, right? And it is okay to admit that it's hard, right? Because it's hard. Emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, all of the things. What's with like his mouth or throat? Is there restrictions for him, or is there something, what, like all of a sudden my tongue feels huge in my mouth and I feel like I can't swallow properly? Oh, I'm so glad, Kimberly. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Is his father passed? So who would be the fatherly figure for your husband? So like his father or his grandfather? So it would be grandfather. Just because as I go to him, as I go and sit into your husband's energy, and I do feel like there's some mobility restrictions for him as well, and all of a sudden my feet feel so heavy, like my especially my lower legs. I see this father figure standing next to him, watching over, helping. So it is important for you to know that his family, departed loved ones, divine team, along with your departed loved ones and divine team, are all there helping with the situation and making it as comfortable as possible. Is this a terminal illness? Because they just said to me, okay, perfect. So this is temporary. Perfect. Or not terminal, I would say. I don't predict death. That's not even something I could do if people wanted me to and asked me to. But they just said that you're always going to be in the know. Okay? What that means to me is when they say something like that, it means that there's no blind sides coming in. If things are changing, you're in the know. You're not going to miss it, right? So this could be connected to your caregiving, feeling as though you're going to miss something, feeling as though that he will never work. Okay. And so there is this feeling of you'll always be in the know and kind of bringing this kind of relaxed energy to it. When they make me feel relaxed, it's almost like our fear, like we want to kind of release it. Yes, I don't sleep. Okay. Okay. Is there someone who can sit with him? Because I do see, especially through the nighttime, if there's like ways for you to be able to rest. And this is where I feel a little bit heated, because I feel like there are, I don't know if he has siblings, or it's almost like, where's the help? You know what I mean? And so if our friends and family cannot, then it's time for us to figure out how we can have some help, whether it's someone that is going to sit with him, have a sitter, a couple of hours, so that you can just unapologetically like unplug mentally. Like that seems to be the feeling that's coming in. And so there may be outside of the box ways to be able to bring that in for you. Okay. Looking to respite, perfect. And so I do feel like that's going to be, and don't hesitate in saying like, this is what I need, right? Or this is what I'm looking for. Because I almost feel like, this is why I said something a little bit outside of the box. There may be like this very kind of like standard care. But if you share with them, like, this is what I'm looking for, this is where I'm really having struggle time, one of the nurses or one of the employees may have someone who will come at night and will sit, or will, you know what I mean? It's almost like, something that may be a little, maybe outside of the program. We'll say it like that. Okay. And so don't hesitate in communicating clearly, and don't hesitate in admitting that you need a bit of a break, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with needing a break. Okay. Kate Breton, close enough. All right, Kimberly, I'm going to leave that with you. Yeah. Listen, you guys amaze me, because it is so hard being the caregiver. No, I'm still on live, Dan. I'll let you know, okay? Let's see where we're going next. Don't forget to hit the follow. If you're here and you're wanting a reading, we do want to make sure that you're following. Lots of Kate Bretners here. We're all under that big pile of snow. The kids were happy. Well, I didn't send them yesterday, and then they were happy with the snow day today. Although the wind was a little high, they tried to go out and play, and it was whipping them in the face too much. Lots of snow. Yes, I saw that on Facebook. A lot of the States got a lot of snow too. Not plowed out. No, I know. That same, like, I rescheduled my clients, and they're like, I was coming no matter what. I was like, girl. You're crazy. We can reschedule. Oh, I'm so glad, Amberly. Listen, this is why I love doing what I do. I find even, Spirit always knows. This is what I say. Spirit knows what needs to come through. Spirit knows what needs to be said. It may not be what we want to hear, may not be what we be expecting to hear, but it is what we need to hear to help our healing. Florence, was your dad a smoker, but like something, so when they make me, and I'm not 100%, it was just saw your name when I start smelling smoke. Smoke for me, when it's like a little bit off, can either mean hand-rolled cigarettes, pipes, or cigars. Florence, perfect. Oh, that's interesting. So Florence, how do you understand this? Because your father just said that he had illness, that there was sickness, but there was like a quick decline or a quick turn or quick change, and that we weren't really prepared for his departure. So even though there was concerns for his health, sometimes that may mean like, you know, that he had ailments, or he was going through, say, cancer treatments, but he was holding his own, and then all of a sudden he caught an infection, all of a sudden went septic, all of a sudden things shifted and changed, right? And so how would you understand that? Showing me that there was illness, but then there was a quick change or a quick decline. Oh, geez, that is quick. Okay. So just know that he comes forward. He supports all the decisions that were made before, during, and after. Okay, because he has me going through the medical files. That's my sign and symbol that we feel as though something could have been or should have been different. Maybe there was a mistake, or maybe he was misdiagnosed, or maybe we had him in earlier in the year and they didn't catch it, or whatever it is, that the woulda, shoulda, coulda. He takes ownership. He says, I mean, he's stubborn, right? He is so stubborn, because he was like, I knew something seriously was wrong. And he procrastinated going in. He procrastinated getting it checked. Okay. And so it is important for you to know that he says, that's on me. That's on me. I take ownership of that. Okay. You understand? Perfect. So he doesn't want you, or who's the other females? Is it sister and mom? Who's the other two females that he wants to address? He doesn't want us to have the woulda, shoulda, couldas. He takes ownership is what he says. Okay. Did he roll his own cigarettes? I have two sisters and mom. Okay. So he doesn't want the girls. He doesn't, because he does. There's almost this feeling, and especially with mom, this feeling as though I could have, or I should have been able. I should have pushed him harder. I should have made him get it checked out, because there was quite the cough as well, right? But he's saying like, he goes, when did I ever do anything that I didn't want to do? Like, you know, and he just shows me like he just doubled down. He just doubled down, right? What's interesting is that spirit will often bring through things that I have went through, just to be able to relate. And he's bringing me to when I was a little kid. He was so stubborn. Listen, I believe you, girl. He's bringing me to when I was a little girl. I used to visit my uncle, and they rolled his own cigarettes, and he would have it on like this like tray, and me and my brother would literally go and play in his tobacco. Oh, the 80s. So is this something that you did, Florence? Is this something like, or did you roll his cigarettes for him? Like, you know, they go in and you go, ch-ch. It was like the most fun thing. But that's what he's bringing through. I remember doing that for him. Perfect. So this is him bringing through a memory, right? Just bringing through and laughing. The roller, yes. Oh my God, that's so funny. And it's so interesting as well, because he does make me feel, he goes, oh, but my daughter, she is so intelligent, is what he says. She's so smart. And it almost like he's lived a very simple life. You know what I mean? Hard worker. He shows me manual worker, hard worker, work to the bones. But he really envied you. Maybe even, yeah, like respected, envied almost a little bit of your intelligence and how you just saw through his bullshit. To be honest, he's like, I couldn't get away with it. Right? Worked up right till that November, I believe, and lived to work. Like that was his manhood. You know what I mean? And he's just said to me, Ange, I am so glad that I didn't know that I was dying, because I was scared. And he shows me how your mother has faith. Right? And so mom may believe in heaven, believe in life after death, but he wasn't quite as confident. And I tell you, he is that tickled pink, that he is still around, just in a different way. Okay? It's really important for mom to know that he's safe and that he's okay. I feel like mom is having a bit of her own stuff going on as well. So he's coming forward as well, bringing through supports for her, supports for everyone. I can feel him shuffling through her house. Okay, so to validate her own intuition, to validate her feeling his presence, knowing that he's there, etc. Now he says for you, Florence, that he flickers and dims the lights. So know that when the lights flicker and dim for no reason, it's Da. He also says that you need to have your car checked. So are you due? Are you due for an oil change? Because he just popped the hood, or is there like a noise? Okay, so know that he mentioned that. Okay, so know that he mentioned that this is his way of validating. If you go in and you see tomorrow that you're due for an oil change, or there's something that's happening, or he keeps wanting me to pop the hood. Okay, so make sure nothing's in there all nuzzled up. Good, Loopy. Loopy says, I can relate to so much of this. This is where piggybacking works, right? Now we're over 107 people tuned in. This is definitely how, I know. This is how piggybacking works, okay? Your own intuition. You're hearing things that you came here to hear. Spirit's making sure that you need, because I'm not going to lie, I need to pee. So we're on a timeline. We're on a timeline. Oh, thank you so much. Listen, I've been doing this. I've been reading for the public for, this is going into my 10th year. April will be 10 years since I started. It has been a wild ride. I know that some of you, I can see your familiar names from over on Facebook. Like Cher's been with me from day one. It's been the most amazing and wild 10 years of my life. But I am so blessed and I'm so grateful, and I'm so just, like, I feel like, my path was really like very wild for me. I started as a result. Amy, you've been here from the very beginning. As a result of receiving a reading from someone, and then did the work. It took me about 3 years to get from reading books, trying to figure it out, to doing it for the public. And then it has been wild. It's been a wild ride ever since, but then I had a whole bunch of personal stuff and growth and healing and everything happening within the last 10 years. This year, it feels fun again. Like some of you who have been here from the beginning, you know I pop on all the time. I used to pop on all the time. Tanya's here, trying to get that Fort Mac date. We're looking at the first week of October. It's like all of a sudden it's I feel like this is TikTok. I started the Divinely Connected community. That is a private community where it's, I do live readings. We do live hangouts, educational content. We just did a lesson on soul. We have a private chat board, private community board. Awesome, Destiny. So like Thursday we're doing, because I had to reschedule because Wi-Fi wasn't great last night with all the high winds. But this Thursday I'm doing a live Zoom gallery read in my Divinely Connected community. It's only $5.55 a month. So if you want to be part of that and have like the insider, I say it's very, like, I want it to be very casual. I just want to share what I've learned through my own life experiences, through spirit, and through healing messages. And coming on TikTok is super fun, and doing it on Facebook is super fun, but it can get a little wild. TikTok, I've had such a love-hate with it over the years, because I would pop on and then next, there's like 15 fake accounts pretending to be me, inboxing people requesting money and then getting it, which always broke my heart. And I know that that's not my lesson to learn, but I do feel really bad when people get scammed because they think it's me, right? And so it just kind of like ruins the vibe. And so I was like brainstorming of like, how can I have this type of community, this back and forth closeness that I was missing from, 10 years ago, social media was so different, right? And so like my Facebook account would feel like this private little community. And now it's like the Wild West out there. And so having this private community, having it at a very low fee, like the lowest fee that I could have it possibly, just to keep the bots out, to keep the scammers out. And it's just like so beautiful. It is the best vibes. So if you've been enjoying yourself here, if you're interested in finding and having like-minded people, content, spiritual guidance, I always say, you know, being human is hard, and I just want to help make it a little bit easier, and spirit lead me in that way. That's pretty much my vibe. Right? You can definitely sign up. The link is in my bio. I saw somebody ask, you know, how do you get a private session with me? I have 3 children, and so I used to book my year out in advance and have a wait list, which was a pain. So now what I do is I book month to month, self-booking. Okay. And so if you go to the link in my bio, you can go to my website, which the information is there, at 10 a.m. on the 1st of every month, Atlantic Standard Time, my availability for that month. So February 1st at 10 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time, my availability will be open for the month of February. That way I can work around everybody's schedule, doctor's appointments, orthodontist appointments, etc., etc. And so that's what I feel has really been working best for my life now. If there's any cancellations, it will open up. It automatically just becomes available. If you go on it right now, it will look like I have nothing for months and months and months, because my January is booked. So come February 1st, my private sessions will open at 10 a.m. And if you're looking to get in for a private session, I do in person, Zoom, or phone. You can book yourself in there. And like I said, the Divinely Connected community is through the Stand community. If you have Apple, you have your own app. If you have Android, you can just take the website and save it to your homepage. And that gives us access to private chats. You know, we did, like I said, we started 2 weeks ago. We have 190 people signed up already. We did a class on soul. We did a little chit chat on the shoulds. I should be doing this, I should be doing that. We have a live gallery read coming in. And February, we're going to have a guest speaker in. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. It's really kind of it's this nice inspiration and creativity has come back into my work. So I'm really excited for that. And obviously, you know, I always say, mediumship is my service, teaching is for me, right? Because that's how I fill my cup up. It's a really beautiful balance between, you know, the grief and the heaviness that sessions can bring with the teaching and the excitement of healing. Yeah, Yarmouth might be on the list. We'll see. It was on my list this week, actually, I think Marguerite too. I think I might go up there because somebody asked me to. If you guys have a town or city, especially in the Maritimes, you can definitely inbox me. You know what? I did a show in Pictou years ago. I want to say 7 years ago. And I've been to Truro. I did a show in Truro. Did a few shows downtown Halifax. Recently in Halifax-ish area, I went to Windsor. Moncton. Was wondering where else in New Brunswick, if Moncton is, because I did find Moncton shows tickets would always sell enough to do the show, but there wasn't growth. I always say, like, every time I go back to a city, I'd like to grow a little bit. But Moncton, I don't know. I don't know what the vibe is there. And PEI, I would love to go to PEI. I would love to go to PEI. Yeah, I might have to come back to Pictou. Yes, and in Sydney, and I know Sydney Mines wants me to come back, and I think I might do that this fall. Or sorry, this current winter, and then Sydney probably. I like to do a Christmas show, so December for Sydney. But anyways, that is, I will work out all the dates. I will work all the dates and get them posted and get it up for the year. I would love that, Debbie. You can inbox me what venue you would like me to book. Listen, messages from spirit events are my favorite thing to do in the whole wide world. It is, I always say, it's like 2 hours of spirit bombs, right? Like, this is very relaxed. This is slow. Personal sessions are slow. Not like slow, but like, if you ever been to one of my messages from spirit events, it is actually wild. It's like 2 hours of just getting through as much information, as many messages as possible. And just being in the room is so healing. Right? Just being in the room is so healing. I think that's so important. Like, some people go, I don't even need a message. I just come and cry for 2 hours and I leave feeling better. And I get it. I completely understand. It's palpable. The healing is palpable. It is amazing. So yes, I would absolutely love to continue coming and traveling to do the Messages from Spirit event, because they are just, a good cry is always great. It's so true. It's so true. All right, guys, I gotta go. Thanks for the follows. I would appreciate if you share my account with your friends and family. Like I said, I'm going to try to get on as much as I can to bring through some messages for you. If you are on Facebook, you can follow me over there. I do daily cards and weekly guidance videos every Sunday night live. I put my replay over on my YouTube, which is Angela McClellan Medium. My Facebook is Angela McClellan. And my website's angelamcclellan.com. So that's pretty much everything you need to know to find me where I'm at. If you want to join my Divinely Connected community, like I said, it's only $5.55 a month to have private access and content in a like-minded community, which is just shaping up to have the best vibes. I'm so proud of it, and we just got started, and I'm so excited for all the possibilities, right? You could do anything in there. I love it. And we don't have to worry about scammer accounts. And again, if you guys have anybody messaging you under my name, it is not me. I will never message you first. Okay? And I will never ask for money. I'm either doing it for free here or you're booking a session, right? Like, that's it. I don't do this, hey, I got a vibe, give me some money. That's not how I roll. All right. Anyways, thanks so much for being here, and hope to see you soon.